Okay, in earlier session we discussed creation of dimension table based on a hub and single satellite. But what happens if we have multiple satellites that include different attributes with different load date information? Look at the example. Now we have one additional satellite table that include address information of Jim Black. If we look at the details of table, it shows that Jim was living in Los Angeles and he moved to New York. So in order to find type 1 dimension, or in other way the current view of data, we need to get maximum data information for each specific business key for each satellite. In a standard solution, we have a SQL code as following. We need to add one more subquery for each satellite in order to get latest version of data by calculating the maximum load date. And this query will be expanded with an additional subquery for each new satellite. But we already talked about this approach when we are handling the point-in-time table. We discussed that if we have a hub and connected multiple satellite tables, we use the point-in-time table in order to find consistent load date information for each satellite. So in here, point-in-time table will help us to simplify the query by storing the most recent load date for every satellite and so for every business key. So for each load, we extract maximum load date information from each satellite and load into point-in-time table. Now the query is more simplified when we use the point-in-time table. We only created one subquery in order to find latest record in point-in-time table, and with this record we can easily join the satellite tables and get the latest version of data from them. Then we use this query in order to load dimension table, and hash key from the hub table is assigned as primary key, and valid from column comes from the point-in-time table, and rest of the attributes added from the satellite tables. In overall, when we try to load dimension table based on a hub and multiple satellites, either we can use the nested subqueries to determine latest version of each satellite, or we can use the point-in-time table, which reduces the complexity and increase the performance. As we already mentioned that rather than loading dimensions to physical table, we can also create a view which brings the latest version of data on each run. And again, not to forget, we should use the maximum business date when we find the latest version of data.